Mm.
You gonna do something anyways?
Yeah, I might as well. Is that you?
Yep.
Yeah, welcome to the show, babe. You watched the spring game today, babe? It was exciting. It was a good. It was a good day. It was a good spring game. You could feel the excitement in the air. They did the tunnel walk. It just kind of was a teaser. Just kind of a teaser tunnel walk. Yeah, please turn that down. Please turn down your radio, ma'am. And it definitely was. It was definitely sold out. You know, you look back at all the years in Nebraska football, and I could tell you. I mean, I was born on a farm in Lincoln, like 2 miles south of Husker Highway there. And I could a little farmhouse. I could tell you all these things because that farmhouse is long gone. Um, but I remember being, I think I was 5 years old, and I was 6 years old. And the very first play I ever remembered on TV was the 2-point conversion in the 84 Orange Bowl. And I knew there was something. I knew it was exciting because my parents, they had a small party going on, and the energy in the room was just immense. And it's funny because the only thing I remember about that is the energy in the room, and then that final play. And they missed the 2-point conversion. And I started bawling, and then. Then the football season was over, and it was. I don't remember back then the weight or anything like that, but I do remember that I didn't miss a game on television for the next 20 years. I mean, every game that was on TV, I was watching it. Then of course, in the mid 2000s, and I'm sure a lot of other people are with me on it. You missed a game here and there. There was days where you didn't have to call your friend or your dad or whoever to come over and watch the game. They just would show up. Nowadays, you gotta call them up. Dad, you gonna come over and watch this Nebraska game? And it's not the same anymore. I mean, it's just people are tired of watching them get beat, and especially by 55, 60 points. To some team like Ohio State, granted Ohio State's Ohio State, one of the best programs in the country, but you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose that bad on your home field. And you don't want. When was the last time we ever lost to? Was it Northern Illinois or somebody? When was the last time we lost like that on our home field? It's just not the same. It hasn't been the same. We made our turn when we fired Frank Solich. I mean, the guy was winning 10 games a season. He got him to a national championship game. Granted, it was a lot of luck involved in that to get to that. Had a Heisman Trophy winner. But the moment we let go of family like that is the moment things went south. It was a good feeling to watch the spring game today. And just to, and I honestly never watched a spring game before this spring game in my life. I've caught bits and pieces of it. I went to a spring game. I guess I should say I didn't watch it on TV or anything like that, but I was at one spring game because my buddy played for the Huskers back in the mid-'90s. But the energy was there. You could just feel it. Little kids, the camera on the little kids, they have no idea what it means. But they're there building that commitment and compassion to this program They're going to be like Nebraska takes off from here, and all these kids, hopefully, all these kids know is winning, like I did growing up, at least enough to where it sticks in your heart and it stays with you. But yeah, they were showing images of those little kids, holding up the number one finger and this and that. It felt like Nebraska football again today, and you could just tell that. All the old players on the sidelines, they were all there. They were talking to each other, smiling. Now, I don't know if they showed up to these things every year or not, but I can't imagine as many of them did in the past. And that just shows you that, and everybody knows that things are changing, and they're changing for the better. And I think when we all look back at this one day, that long period of struggle, as bad as it's been, it's probably a good thing, because it's actually what's created this rejuvenation. You see the guys on the sidelines wearing their jerseys, not playing today, and I noticed it meant something to wear that jersey today, like it used to in the past. It didn't mean anything the last few years, especially the last few years. But otherwise, I liked what I seen on the field. I can tell you all right now, and I know some of you might disagree with me, but the Tristan Gabbia fans out there, I think this quarterback race is all but over. I think it's Adrian Martinez's spot, and I've kind of believed that all along. It's Scott Frost's first pick, first recruit. He's out there running speed options, read options for touchdowns. I mean, I know it was touch the quarterback day, but you can just tell when somebody's got that it factor. They're making those cuts, and they're just making plays. Some players make plays, every once in a while, but then there's those players that make plays seem effortless. And that's what was going on. Gabby is, he's a good kid. He's a tough guy. He's a quarterback, but he's too small to play that position. He's not going to hold up in no Scott Frost style of read option and all the gunslinging. I mean, he's got everything going on, and he's just too small of a quarterback to take that on for the season. And why not put your freshman first pick, the guy you wanted, in there from day one? Especially if he's performing. He had like 5 touchdowns today or something like that. I actually like Bunch. I like Bunch. My top 3 is Martinez, Bunch, then Gabbia. Vedrill's Vedrill. He's there. He's just going to be along for the ride. He'll play if the coach need him. He'll jump in there in a heartbeat. That's the kind of players you want on the sideline. That's the kind of players you want on offense and defense. Role players, people who are selling out for the program like they used to. Jesse, what did you think of the spring game? I liked the spring game. I loved the spring game, to tell you the truth. It was sold out. Everybody's anxious to see what this team's going to look like. The quarterbacks, everybody's curious about that. Like I just mentioned, the defense I think the defense, honestly, is, in my opinion, is the biggest question mark. And the defense looked like they showed up. Their cornerbacks and secondaries were diving in there for tackles, knifing in like you've seen in the old days, where they just come flying in from out of the television screen and just cutting people down. These last 3 or 4 seasons, these guys are just standing around looking all lethargic. It'd be like me out there right now trying to, running down running backs and trying to just stay with tight ends and receivers. These guys are going to learn how to tackle, and it showed a little bit today. That Dismuke, number 19 on the white, he was flying around all over the place. I liked what I saw out of him. Lamar Jackson, he's going to be good. He's a big, tall, strong guy. He was cutting people down. Muhammad Berry looked like a different player today. The defensive line had some really good quarterback pressures. I think his last name was Neal, number 9 on the white, had a couple sacks. The Davis boys, they're from where I'm at. They went to Blue Springs High School, and they're right up, right down the road from where I'm at right now. I remember them coming out of high school. They were track stars, 300 pounds, running, really fast, quick. they need to start stepping it up. But today, yeah, this spring game was an enjoyment to watch. It kind of just gave everybody in the Husker Nation, the Husker fan base, the family, a little something to look at, because we all kind of needed that when Scott Frost took this job back on, I think it was December 3rd. Everybody was ready from that moment. So this spring game has been nice to have this little pivotal moment in between the layoff, between bowl games, which we didn't play in, and the start of the season. But speaking on the defense, that's what I'm more concerned about. I'm looking forward to seeing them improve. I think our offense is going to score a lot of points. The running backs, we got a stable. They say stable of running backs. We do. We have that. We have Bell and Zigbo. So that's kind of the fire and the lightning. Wilbon looked pretty good today. The wide receivers, there's so many. They looked good today. The wide receivers, that like it was like when you're watching, it's like all these weapons. It seemed like Lindsey was all over the place. Tajon Lindsey was catching everything. I see McGriff, their new recruit, had a catch in there. Then obviously Stanley Morgan's out, Spielman's out. They were out today, but they probably didn't want to get hurt, or they probably didn't want them to get injured or anything silly like that in the spring game, because they're the big starters. We got to have them in there when the season starts. But it looks to me like we have 30 different guys we can throw the ball to. Now, kind of leaning back onto the quarterback situation, like I said, I liked a bunch. Gabbia had a couple nice passes. I did see a lot of nice deep balls were throwing, like in spots where the guy could make a play on it, going into the end zone. They actually, early in the game, had that play in the corner of the end zone where they didn't do the replay because they're like, it's a spring game, but we looked up at the Jumbotron and we saw his foot was in bounds. We'll go ahead and call it good. Then there was another one that was really close. I think it was maybe early in the first half. But I really like Bunch. I think Bunch impressed me more than Jebbia. He just, I didn't really know what size he was, like on the field. You kind of can tell different things when you see him on the field on TV. He looks pretty small out there. But Martinez looked comfortable. He was running that read option. He was hitting receivers. Made a nice touchdown pass. He looked good. In my opinion, this quarterback competition really, it's over from here on out unless something dramatic happens. I wouldn't be surprised to see Martinez starting for Nebraska in his first game against Akron, the Akron Zips. Which reminds me, don't forget to go on to Vivid Seats. They have tickets available for that first game for $64, as low as $64. That's something you should check out if you're wanting to go to that game. Get in there and see Scott Frost's first game as a coach at Nebraska, and get your seats. They're cheap right now. This thing's going to be $200 or $300 right before the game starts. So if you got the money, go grab some tickets off Vivid Seats. I was going to have a guest on. My partner in crime couldn't make it. Was hoping to get some insights from him. Wasn't exactly sure how many people were going to jump on here. I know I advertised the heck out of it this week. Troy Gladowski, thank you for the thumbs up, brother. Good to see you on here. But it was, all in all, it was a good day for Nebraska football. We should be excited. We deserve to be excited. And I honestly think, looking at the schedule, I see us winning those first three games. Colorado might give us a little challenge, but I think the energy and the energy in that game is going to be pretty good. It's going to be higher than the Akron game, and I think we'll put them away, in the second half. That first road game at Michigan in the fourth week, I think September 22nd, that's going to be a tough one for us. They're going to be all up to knock us down. That whole 100 and however many thousand people in that stadium, they're going to be ready to knock our teeth in. And I think I feel that we're going to start slow in that game, might fall behind a little bit. But that being said, I think the second half we're going to toughen up, make it a close game towards the end, make it respectable. And a few games after that, I honestly see us going 8-4 in my opinion. The Ohio State road game, I wouldn't, anybody can win on a Saturday. Anybody could do it. I'm looking more for respect back in that deal, and if we pull off the victory at the end, then we pull the victory off. But I'm really just more looking for respect in that game, because the last two times we've played them, they've just absolutely beat us down. And it's just, when you're a program like they are, that you take offense to that a little bit, because you can't defend yourself till the next time you play them, So I think they'll come out ready to play in that game, and I think it'll be a lot closer than the last two games. But it could be a 14-point, 17-point game, but maybe they score one early or late in the fourth to put it up to 17 or something. But that's a long ways away. Who knows what's going on by then? Who knows how Nebraska's clicking? Who knows if their defense is, getting better? Who knows if we have injuries? You just can't tell from here. But I see an 8-4 season. I wouldn't be absolutely shocked to see 9-3. The same to say with like a 7-5. I wouldn't be absolutely shocked to see that. One thing I do know is we're going to go to a bowl game this year. That is for sure. These guys aren't going to roll over and quit. We're going to a bowl game. And we're going to get back on a bowl streak. Might win the bowl game. Who knows? I'd like to see a bowl game against, like, one of our old-time clashers, like a Missouri or something. That'd be fun to watch. Maybe, it's tough. You want to say Oklahoma. You want to see the Sooners. You'd like to see us play the Sooners, but, they might be a game or two ahead of us in the wins. But down the road, that could happen again for us. We got to get back in the picture. That's what everybody wants. We want to get back into the picture. We want to have a chance to go to the Big Ten Championship. Last one we went to was, I think, 2010, or it was against Wisconsin. And Taylor Martinez had that really nice play in that game, but then we just ended up getting blown out. They scored like 70 points on us. We had those final two Big 12 championship games that didn't go our way. That would have been nice. If you remember, I think it was Colt McCoy. He threw that ball out of bounds, and, the clock was going from 1-0, and they ended up giving them that 1 second back on the clock, and they kicked that field goal and beat us. I think we were going to a big bowl game if we would have won that game, if I'm not mistaken. But, that's the way it goes sometimes, and it's been like that for a while now. And we've got a good coaching staff here. You can feel it. You can just tell these guys are genuine. Verdusky, is that I don't know if I'm pronouncing the quarterback's coach last name right, but he looks. I seen him on the sideline. I caught some things from him on the recruiting trail when I was watching the recruiting trail with Adrian Martinez. He looks like he's a nice, genuine guy with some fire, And Adrian Martinez mentioned that he really enjoyed his visit when he came to recruit him. Troy Walters, wide receiver coach. People forget he played at Stanford and he won the Walter Camp Award. It might have been the Walter Camp Award for a wide receiver. And I remember him back then. I actually do remember him. He's a good coach. And obviously Scott Frost is back, and we'll see what happens. Big games coming up. Every game's gonna be big. The start of this season. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna do. I plan to do like a Husker warm up. I'm gonna call it the Husker warm up. It's gonna be a pregame for the upcoming games. I'll probably do it the morning of the games if I can, and then at night. Like this kind of today, later at night, I'm going to do like a Husker cool down. I'm going to call it a Husker cool down. I'm going to do a post-game analysis and, and discuss the in-game plays and stars of the game and all that kind of stuff, and then build up for the next week. I appreciate if you checking out this video when you do, and come to our fan page, Huskers and Football, and go check out our group, Big Red Football Forum. You can find that on the Huskers and Football page. I appreciate everybody's time, and I'll be getting back around to some more videos. I'll let y'all know if anything pops up that we're going to discuss in the near future. Thanks again. That's a wrap. Boom.